With a student population of roughly 70,000, Liverpool is by far one of the most loved student cities in the UK. Stuffed with culture, considered cheap for living and famous for its landmarks, Liverpool is also home away from home for hundreds of international students seeking a British degree in higher education. There are 3 universities in the city: Liverpool John Moores, Liverpool Hope, and University of Liverpool. As great as this city is for student life, studying abroad has its challenges, and who else will give the best insight into the international student life if not international students themselves?
Going to UK to study while I was young is always like my dream, because I always want to explore what it's like in Western countries, like quite different from Eastern, from China. And then I love language, I love different culture like that, so I always want to go to the UK. When Liverpool students come to our uni, I work in the international office, so I receive them, I translate for them, and I found Liverpool people, and I found they're so nice. So I was like, stick to this, and I really want to get the chance to go to here, and then I did it.
I always wanted to study abroad, I just wasn't sure where, because I had loads of ideas, like say Germany or Spain, things like that, but it was mostly because of the language. I just knew English best, and it was easiest to kind of meet all the language requirements and things. And also I visited England a couple of times before I came, and I absolutely loved it here, so that was the main reason.
Well, I decided to study in England because future opportunities. I think studying a degree in English, then you can go anywhere you want in the world.
Liverpool Students Union is the representative body for all students studying at Liverpool John Moores University. Executive student representatives in the SU answer to the whole student body in LJMU and are responsible for the decision making.
As a home student come to university, I already had a lot of added pressures in terms of trying to adjust to university life, trying to adjust to the course. International students have that kind of pressure, but on top of that they have more things to worry about as well.
I think the biggest challenge is settling in a way that sorting all the basic things out. Say you have to have your bank account, register with a GP, all of those things, because it works differently than your home country. So I couldn't ask anyone for advice because my parents didn't know. No one was there really to help me, as it is for home students. They just do everything their parents tell them to do, and that's it. Whilst for me, I had to find out about everything by myself.
Something that UK students might see as just an easy thing to do is something like opening a bank account. International students are telling us they find it difficult applying for a national insurance number if they want to work. Visa restrictions also, saying that they can only work 20 hours a week maximum. And this happens at the same time, like I said, to try and adapt to a new learning style in a university, something that's completely different to what they're used to studying previously.
I've only finished my essay yesterday. I feel so stressed while I'm doing essay, because it's first it's quite different well what we do. We don't write very academic essay during the semester, only at the end. Also, it's not as academic as here. You have to be very careful to avoid plagiarism, and also the language, like you have to write in English. That stressed me so much, but I'm fine, I just finished that.
The international students are constantly telling us that that socialising is very challenging. Obviously coming into a new city, a new country, a different culture than what they're used to. And language difficulties may sometimes make this harder process than it seems. It might be very easy for UK students to socialise with fellow peers when they first come over to university on their course, but it might be a little bit difficult for international students to integrate with fellow students.
I made a few English friends, but I wouldn't say enough. I wish I had made more, I suppose, but it can be difficult at times because they usually tend to stick with other English people.
While we are having lectures and I sit here, And all the students, like, they sit around me. They don't sit with me. They sit around me, like not so. And later when I ask them why you don't choose to sit with us, they say they feel all the Chinese students coming here is like study very hard and they only talk to Chinese friends and they just want to get the degree.
I made my first English friend after 3 years of living in the UK. So it took me a while to have my first English friend.
It's important for the university to, like us, take a step back and have a look and say, are we providing the right offer for international students and giving them the right information?
It was just getting used to, I don't know, what kind of shops you've got, or maybe finding out which one is best to shop in, or which one is the cheapest, or this kind of thing. Because just, I don't know, budgeting in general as well. Because I remember the first couple of weeks I spent a fortune on stuff that literally I could get half the price if I went to a different shop. To be honest with that, it wasn't until actually probably I met my boyfriend that I learned how to do it, because he said, well, yeah, you're getting this, it's not too bad, but at the same time, if you go to, say, Asda or wherever, or if you look at if you buy a different brand, it's just as good, but it's half the price. So yeah, it's those things that unless you live there or you get an advice from someone who's been here for, his whole life, then you won't really know how to go on about it. That's
what needs to be looked at for international students, is how we can give them more information prior to them arriving, so they're making a right choice.
I remember that on the website there were some things about, say, that you have to register with a doctor, for example, or some like very, very basic things, but still a lot of that I had to just go and ask myself, because there wasn't too much, to be honest. I think that there wasn't enough really on the university website.
International students are telling us they want to live with fellow international students who they can really assist their time in Liverpool, so they're in a similar situation and they can go through that daunting process at times. They can do that together. There's a lot of Chinese students who come over and they like to live with each other. People who are coming from European countries tend to want to integrate a little bit more. A lot of international students are saying they want just a tour of Liverpool. Something as simple as that. I think a lot of international students didn't have that when they arrived, so it'd be really, really good for us to informally just have a walk around and point out a few different things, such as where you can get your local food from, how you send packages home, where the local landmarks are, the cathedrals, the football stadiums, everything that makes Liverpool such a brilliant city to live in.
Definitely felt welcome, because obviously I moved in during this moving weekend for the whole university, so there were loads of students, like freshers and everything, so that was a nice feeling that I wasn't the only one, obviously, because there were loads of other people just as confused and just as not knowing what to do next, and a bit scared probably. So yeah, I think the city in general is nice as well, because there are so many students that it's almost a student city, I would say.
I feel something funny when you're walking on street the first time, they say, "Oh, sorry, love." I said, "What, love?" Where they just talk to every stranger with that, but very friendly. I feel Liverpool is very good for me because there are lots of Chinese people and lots of Chinese restaurants. So whenever you miss home, feel homesick and miss home food, you can just go lots of different restaurants to try that. So that's really good.
Well, for example, in this Christmas, I said I wasn't gonna go to Spain, but I felt kind of homesick, in the last Christmas, so I went back. So basically, when I feel kind of homesick, it doesn't happen very usually, but when it happens, I just go there for 1 week or something. I just go home for 1 week and it's enough.
I'm not really homesick, to be honest. I have never been, which is probably the best proof for me that I made the right decision, because I never felt like I want to go back. Obviously sometimes I miss my parents a bit, and yeah, then I just talk to them on Skype or something. They fortunately visit me quite a bit, or I visit them, so that's good as well. But I wouldn't say that I'm homesick at all.
Can I complain about the weather?